Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade tabletop role-playing rules by World of Darkness. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Listeners should know that this podcast is intended for a mature audience and will include strong language and mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and so forth, that may bear resemblance to entities living, dead, or undead is strictly coincidental. My name is Rena Henze, and for tonight's game, I will be your storyteller. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Old Ways podcast, Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, Shards of San Francisco. I am your storyteller Rena, and tonight we return to the scene of a very, very tense situation. But before we do that, I'd like to into thanking our backers, especially all of our lovely, lovely Patreon supporters, for everything that you do. We couldn't do this without you. If you would like to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast, and we thank you for doing so. And now let's get on to some introductions. To my right.
Hi, this is Mike, and I play Marcus Voss of Clan Bruja.
And to Marcus's right.
Hi, this is John, and I play Sylvestre Laviolette of Clan Gangrel.
And next to Sylvestre.
Hi, my name is Tegan, and I'm playing Rum the Shaman of Clan Malkavian.
Indeed. And at the end of the table.
Hi, I'm Ali, and I play Katerina Bogdanovich of Clan Toreador.
And next to Katerina.
Hello, my name is Bridget, and I am playing Monica West of Clan Salubri.
And last, but never least.
Hi, this is Tiffany, and I play Alex Giovanni of Clan Hakata.
Indeed you do. Very well. So, with all of our vampires assembled separately, we pick up this evening with Chase and Monica in Chase's car after a very intense confrontation with Marcus, House La Sombra, Esmeralda, Sylvestre, Katerina, and a whole bunch of other vampires. And Monica, Chase called you to come when he was told to leave, and you did without hesitation. And you are now seated in his car, speeding down a road. The windows are tinted. Chase's hands are tightened on the wheel. And he hasn't said anything to you yet. It has been silent for several minutes as the air grows tenser and tenser inside the car.
Monica has shoved herself into the furthest reaches of that passenger seat. She's almost like hips riding the door release that far pinned into the corner. She's going to reach into his glove box. She's going to pull out baby wipes and do everything she can to clean her face off. And I think she's just going to ride that silence while staring down at the floor because she doesn't really know what to say right now. And I think her biggest fear is that there's absolutely nothing that can be said right now. Weeks ago, she was worried about the point of no return. I think this is the actual point of no return.
The silence grows until it becomes almost unbearable. Chase has given you the silent treatment before, especially early on after you were embraced and you had no idea what the fuck you were doing, and embarrassed him a few times in vampiric society, but it's never been this heavy. And finally he says, without looking at you, as he turns a corner so sharply that it almost throws you to the side, even with your seatbelt, "It didn't have to be this way."
She bites onto her bottom lip and she continues staring at the floor as she tries to adjust herself after that very passive-aggressive corner turn. Can I just ask one question?
You can ask.
And she's fighting back tears She's biting back tears. The ducts in her third eye are actually starting to well, and that's typically an anomaly. If you didn't plan on letting me keep her, why did you help me save her?
For you. Also, the last thing this city needs is a broken, evil little Tremere running around. It's the last thing either of us needed. And I thought, if you fixed her, and then I could send her away, it would solve the problem. And then it didn't go so well. And I saw it was hurting you. I was trying to help you, Monica. If I could erase her, you would feel better. It was all for you.
She chews on the inside of her cheeks. She's doing everything she can to not shatter in this moment. And I don't think she responds. I think she's going to continue to stare at the ground because in this exact moment, she doesn't believe him. And that's a whole new carrying case of luggage that she hasn't unpacked for over 80 years.
We're going to have to leave. Because you called Marcus.
I know.
And as you turn into the neighborhood where your original Mackay Gardens, your home, your everything is, you hear the revving of a motorcycle coming up the silent streets behind you. Alex, you've gotten a text message from Ven saying, Rom, turning back, crisis averted.
Well, that's something at least.
And the tracking on your phone still shows the same path. You've seen Jane shoot past you on her motorcycle, but you appear to be closing in the distance.
Good.
You can see the car up ahead, just turning onto a side street.
Since I have maps, do I have a way that I can, since I'm getting, the location map, is there another side street where I could maybe cut them off?
Absolutely. You have maps, you know the side street, you also know where the car is.
Right.
So it wouldn't be too difficult to give Ajax directions.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and pin them in at a stop sign or cut them off.
Okay, so you veer off down a side street. Ajax is quiet and grim. He doesn't exactly know what's happening, but he feels your mood, and that sets him on edge. Monica, you look up and you see barely through the tinted window, riding alongside Chase's car, is the very unmistakable form of Jane. The helmet with the creepy faces in it is covering her face, but it's very difficult to miss the laughing mouth on the back of her neck. And she is keeping pace with you.
Oh, fuck. And she's just going to actually turn in for the first time, face Chase, to make sure that he is aware of what's happening, at least to the right of the vehicle.
He speeds up when he glances out the side of the window. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. There is no one else really out here on the road in this part of town. It's generally a quieter part of town at night. And Jane revs up the engine and speeds up to keep pace. She's not looking in your direction as far as you can tell. It's just this silent, sort of ominous presence over the hum of the motorcycle.
Fuck! Chase, maybe we should pull over and I can talk her down. I don't know what she's heard, but maybe I can talk her down.
One does not simply talk down a Zamitsi.
Chase, she's a friend.
He turns to look at you for the first time, still keeping that very tight grip on the wheel. If you insist. And he'll pull off to the side into one of those slim parking spaces. It's a miracle how he's always managed to find a parking space in San Francisco. despite how crowded street parking is, but it seems to be one of his just mysterious things. He can always find a parking space, which comes in handy now as he slides into one. He leaves the engine on, and you see a Lincoln turning around the corner up ahead of you. And Jane pulls off to the side.
I almost hate to ask, do I recognize Lincoln?
Hard to miss.
Okay. Alex is here too.
His jaw tightens. Did you call them too?
No. I left my phone with Justin.
Doesn't mean you didn't call them first.
I didn't. Chase, God, please, not right now. Alex got Phoebe killed. That was all Alex. Alex orchestrated that. Alex arranged it. I don't have to tell you what you may already know, but Alex is dangerous. And I think they love me. I don't think you should get out of the car.
Wasn't planning on it.
She is going to slip out of that car as quickly as she fucking can. She's going to slam the door. And with two palms up facing Jane, it's immediate. She's immediately going to run. Just like, please don't do this. This is making everything worse. I don't know what you were told. It's not as bad as it seems.
Jane slides off her motorcycle and takes off her helmet. She's usually got this kind of slight sardonic smile every time you've seen her, but she is tense and her eyes are laser focused. Monica, are you okay?
I'm fine. Honest to God, I'm really fine.
Did he hurt you?
No, he didn't. He didn't. Jane, I'm fine, but you're about to make things so much worse.
Am I? And Alex, this is around the time when your car pulls up alongside Chase's.
Is there a way for me to basically trap him in that parking spot?
Not completely, because San Francisco parking spots are in a line, usually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you're going on street parking, which this is, so he could pull out in front, not behind because there's another car there, but he could just pull forward or off to the side. You can't really block in both.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I will step out of the car once we get there.
And the door opens and Chase steps out.
Oh, fuck me. I just told him to stay in the car.
So he steps out of the car and he's surveying the scene. And he's a lot colder, Alex, than you've seen from him. And his third eye is out. He has not covered it. And that third eyebrow just lifts.
I don't look at any of his eyes because fuck him. But mostly I'm just looking. I'm kind of going to stand back a little bit. And mostly just going to be keeping my eye on Monica. And I will calmly ask Monica, would you like to stay here?
That pause is completely in game as she is looking to Chase, looking to Jane, looking to Alex.
You don't have to take his abuse. You don't have to stay with him. You owe him nothing.
You're worth more than he is. I wish you could see that.
I understand what you're trying to do right now, both of you. And I appreciate it. But this isn't our moment. This isn't the time. We can't do this right now. We can't do this here.
Why not?
She's doing everything she can not to cry in the streets right now because we already got 4 walking masquerade breaches happening right now in the corner of whatever street this is.
If you don't want to leave, you don't have to. Everybody will miss you. No one will miss him.
Quick check-in on Chase right now. More or less looking for a vibe and a physicality check.
He's leaning against the car and his arms are crossed. He's watching. He's keeping half an eye on Jane, but he's mostly focused on you. And his face is impassive.
I'm going to reach into my coat pocket and pull out a box. It's a necklace box. It's square and ornately carved, and I'm going to hold it out. Well, Monica, this was meant for you. So you can take it with you, or you can keep it here with us.
She looks at the box. She looks at Alex. She looks at Jane. And then when her eyes finally land on Chase, she understands exactly how dangerous he is in this position right now, because if he's dissociated or has turned off to that degree, this could turn this could go poorly very quickly. So I think she is going to step around the side of the car. She's going to step around Chase. She's going to move to Alex. She is going to accept the box. Thank you. And then she is going to turn and she's going to look to Chase and she's going to say to him, and tomorrow, I'll come home when I can.
Sure you will. Maybe it's better if you don't.
That was a gut punch. I think she's just going to full-blown start crying at this point. I mean, this is like doubled over, hyperventilating, can't get her thoughts or her vision together. Her eyes start dilating. The blue striations in the third eye that she's still carrying from Annalise get brighter. And I think she just doubles over and just starts sobbing, tears of blood all over her face at this point.
Alex is just going to look over at Jane.
Jane has used this conversation to slightly move closer and closer and closer to the car. And she gives you a sort of keep distracting him sort of look.
So, where does that leave us? I'm looking at Chase. Well, at his chest.
What us, Alex Giovanni?
Where are you going and what are you doing?
Asking for information, are we?
No, I want to make sure you're getting the fuck out of here.
You know, none of this had to happen, Monica. He's focusing all of that voice on you, Monica.
Alex is gonna step in front of her, in between Chase and Monica, and look up at him and be like, how about you stop being passive aggressive and stop being an asshole and stop abusing her this instant.
I'm going to make a roll here. And I'm going to contest that. I'm sure this is great, me rolling against myself, but here we are. Okay. So Chase is focused on you, and you can feel that sort of power, Alex, building up in his voice. You know the sort of vocal power certain dominate aspects can have, and you know he is very old. And as he's focusing all of that on Monica as if he's about to say something, there are suddenly long, bony fingers shoved into his chest from the back. And there's this look of surprise on his face as you see Jane's long, triple-jointed fingers shoved into his back. And he whips his head around, trying to turn to look at her. And he starts saying something in a language you don't know. And he sounds like he's attempting to get her to stop. Jane is much younger. Much younger. You don't know how she's going to handle this. But she's got her grim hands inside his back, perhaps reaching for his chest. There is blood soaking through the back of his suit and dripping to the ground. And I'm actually going to need Alex to make a willpower roll here, considering there is an active bleeding salubri wound, and Jane's going to have to make the same roll. Monica, you can see this happening. Jane's face is grim and angry. Jane's fine.
They're all 4s and 3s.
Especially because this is the first time one of our main characters has failed that roll. So, Alex, your eyes start to dilate a little bit as you catch this scent. And time seems to slow almost a little bit as you hear the dripping of his blood onto the street. And you catch this heady, intoxicating scent. And it smells like the most delicious thing you've ever wanted to try in your life. And you are going to have difficulty not tasting that blood. You want it. You want it with every fiber of your being.
Can I call out for Luther?
Oh, yes. He's around. You told him to be around, so...
I'm going to look over to Luther and tell him, whatever happens, I do not drink.
And you feel yourself starting towards Chase. You can't help yourself. Not with all 4s and 3s.
I know. But I know in my brain, like, that's not good. Because last time...
So you find yourself moving towards him, and Luther's like,
what the fuck am I supposed to do in this situation?
But he tries to wrap his sort of spectral arms around yours. The problem is, he's not that strong in this place.
I don't want to try this, but...
And he's going to attempt to possess you, which is very difficult for a wraith to do with a vampire, but we're gonna try. Because he's a bit agitated now. And are you resisting?
No, because that's pretty much what I told him to do.
So you feel something cold inside your physical body. You are lunging for Chase. And Jane is yelling, and Monica is crying, but you're reaching out, and your eyes have turned red. And you can't move your arm any further. And you hear Luther inside your head saying,
this is really fucking weird.
But you can't move, and that means you're not going to be able to do anything for the moment because you are so fixated mentally on his blood, but Luther is physically stopping your arms and your legs from moving. And Jane's just like, what the fuck is going on? And then she's going to have to resist as you hear Chase say something very, very loud in a language you don't know. That same language he's been muttering to himself in for the past 30 seconds. In pain, Monica, you see Chase is in agony as Jane's other hand shoots into that wound that she's made.
I hate that this is where we are right now, but here we go. So if she understands that from the front end, she wouldn't have dropped that. She would have immediately opted for the soul snatch.
Wonderful. You already passed the rouse check. You make eye contact with Jane over Chase's shoulder because she is keeping an eye on you, right? Because she's concerned about you. So I will allow that. But you're going to have to make that roll.
She's going to fail it. It's going to be fine, guys.
Because this is on Jane, right?
Yo, yeah.
So I have 8 successes.
She only got 3.
Jesus. So you make eye contact with Jane, and she cocks her head a little bit, and you hear Chase groan as his concentration is momentarily broken, and she just says, nope, sorry. And you see her hand pull back out of his chest, clutching a heart. And she says, close your eyes.
If you kill him, it'll kill me too.
She's holding it. Chase is barely holding things together. Alex can't move at this moment. So I want you to give me manipulation plus persuasion.
Well, she really wanted this one. This is a... Oh, no, I guess it's not. 2 successes. One of them is a crit, though. I don't know if that matters.
So that makes 3. Okay, I don't think that's enough. Because one of Jane's core attributes, one of her core tenets, is to stop abusers. And she looks at you and she says, you'll get through this. I promise. And those long fingernails close into his heart, rip it completely out of his chest, and tear it apart. And Chase collapses to the ground in a pool of spreading blood, with a shocked look on his face.
And Monica screams at the top of her lungs. The highest level of screaming she can get, that scream that brings tears to her face, that stretches her everything. She screams in pure agony.
Alex is going to take this moment to fall to their knees if, Luther lets go.
The blood is no longer quote unquote living vitae, so it loses that kind of power. And you fall to your knees as Luther goes,
Thank fuck.
and you just see him half manifest. He looks exhausted.
Don't ever ask me to do that again.
And Jane is standing there, hands covered in blood and bits of heart. We need a cleanup crew, and fast.
Yeah, I don't have a cleanup crew, but I will get these cameras taken care of. Okay, I'm going to walk over to Monica and pick her up. I mean, however I have to. Carry her like a baby, whatever. Help her to her feet and get her in the car. And then text Eddie the location and tell him to clean it all up.
You get 3 thumbs up emojis. You see Chase's body just laying there as Jane wipes off her hands. And she pulls out a small, what looks like a burner phone. You got her?
Yeah. Do you want me to make the body disappear too?
If you could do that, that would be very helpful.
Okay. I'm going to do that.
Okay, ashes to ashes. Monica, what are you doing? Are you just still curled up and screaming, or?
The point of no return got here a lot faster than she was thinking it would. Yeah, I'm going to say at this point, the best she can do, because she's not a combatant. Oh gosh, she's so lost, she doesn't know what to do. So she's probably just curled into the back of that Lincoln screaming nonstop.
I failed, so I'm just going to look at Jane and be like, tonight's not the night.
It's probably better that you don't get too close anyway, Alex. I don't know how this works, but it smells really fucking good still. Get out of here. And at that moment, Marcus, on the other side of town, you and Katerina and the others had sent Chase away. Rom has stumbled back up to the house looking slightly confused. Annalise is sitting there in her unicorn t-shirt and jeans, clutching both of her dolls. What did you do when the perpetrator, so to speak, left, taking Monica with him?
We probably would head back to the pier. The excitement for us is over. So we'll, I guess, gather everyone up and head back to Fort Knox.
Are you taking Annalise with you?
You bet.
Probably a good idea. Rom, the house is full of other vampires. Chase and Monica are not in sight. Annalise has gotten off the couch and has walked over to Marcus. The shadows are wriggling. And your head hurts.
Yeah, no, I'll turn to Annalise and be like, I take it you're okay.
What is okay, anyway?
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Are you staying here tonight, or do you need a convenient pseudo-chaperone in public?
I think we're good.
Okay. I know you have that unique situation of being a tiny person walking around at night. That can be inconvenient.
Monica fixed the creepy thing. Well, the aura thing, anyway. I can have a puppy now. And she just walks out the door.
Well, shit. Okay. I mean, I want to go chase after everybody else. But if that's not an option, because I don't know where they are, then I'm going to try to make myself useful to Marcus and rounding those individuals up, or getting everybody back to the safe house.
Yeah, I suppose. That's probably where we'll head. I'm going to make sure a couple of my people come in here to this house, and I'll just sort of text some of the folks, my people, and have them turn this house upside down, make sure everything gets pulled out of it, everything that's important, and make sure that I'm the last person to walk out the door.
I'm being a good administrator and secretary to the union.
Jean just kind of pats you on the shoulder and says, keep a list of things that would be helpful. Very good. And she starts directing people around the house when you tell her to, Marcus, and people start pulling things apart, dismantling things. And she says, I think maybe this house is going to be mysteriously empty for a while. Maybe a fire breaks out, takes a while to fix, that kind of thing. Or maybe just the waterworks. Something wrong with a pipe. I'll take care of it.
Accidents do happen. And there's nothing more destructive than water.
And less likely to get the fire department down here. Good idea. And she says something to Malarkey, who is looking heartbroken. He's just sort of wandering around from kitchen to room, looking sad, with an army of cats following him.
I look at Malarkey. What's your deal?
We were friends.
We who?
Me and Monica, and she just left. She just said, I'm sorry, and she left, and she left me her phone, and I think she's going, and...
She left you her phone?
He holds it up.
Can I see that?
Yeah, sure, I don't know what to do with it. And he hands it to you.
Just in case there's a way to get in contact with her. I sort of tap it just a little bit and slide it into my pocket.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. And he disappears morosely into a bedroom with 8 cats trailing after him.
I look at Jean. He okay?
They were friends.
What a luxury.
I know. Good kid, but yeah, well, he'll snap out of it. Bad situation all around.
I don't disagree. Hopefully, things will get back to normal now.
As normal as you can get with hunters around.
Speaking of which, we have another job to do.
Yeah, I'll head back over to the Haven once I get this cleaned up. I want to take care of it myself.
Okay.
If you want a job done right, you do it yourself.
I couldn't agree more.
Hey, Sylvestre.
And he skulks around a corner.
You want to destroy some furniture?
Just gives you like a little non-committal shrug and is just like, yeah, anything I can do to help out, bud. Which one do you want you to start with? The couch?
Wherever. Go wild. I'm sure you've got some aggression to get out. Can't leave anything in here.
Shrugs his shoulders and tips over the fridge with one hand. Just puts his hand behind it and just tips it over on its front. He's just like, well, let's get started.
So Rom is taking notes of whatever gets removed from the house. Katerina and Marcus, you both see one of the Lasombra, Jamil, carrying out a large box of what looks like papers under his arm. And there's clothes and all sorts of things. And Annika says, oh, those are mine. I'll take that. It's just a bag of clothes from the Gap.
I redirect the clothes, and he's taking out a box of paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to protect the masquerade here and collect some paperwork.
He hands it to you. Says, yeah, surprised it was just pulled out like that. I'm wondering if he was planning to run anyway. It wasn't in a safe or anything. It was just set up on the desk.
That's strange.
Very.
All right, well, thanks. Head back to the massive SUV that's here and tuck some stuff in, and then make sure that Annalise gets in and gets comfortable, and then Katerina and I will head back with the Secretary General Rom now, and head back to the port building.
I found a clipboard. I did, and I found a mechanical pencil, which is a superior pencil.
As you drive back to the Haven, Marcus, Annalise looks at you, considering. She says, guess I owe you.
Oh?
Well, I mean, I don't know what would have happened in there if you hadn't stopped him. We were kind of stuck. If you get into someone's head, especially someone old's head, for too long, it kind of loses you. He was older than me. By a lot. So I'll tell you one thing. More later, but for now, it wasn't William who burned down your office.
No?
That was Michael. Michael Dean is the primogen, or former primogen, of Clan Tremere. We have a thing where we can set fires in places without actually having to be there.
So this is sort of an interesting question then. Did you happen upon this information while you were inside Chase's head?
No. At Elysium, when I went there after Mom died. You can go a lot of places when you're a child and nobody notices you.
Yeah, it's been a little while. I don't have the pleasure anymore.
No, you're kind of hard to miss, Mr. Voss. But the Tremere didn't know that at the time that you'd taken care of Mr. Markovich. And she looks a little sad. I liked him, but they were trying to cause some trouble.
I see.
They wanted him. They didn't have his blood.
No, I find that fairly unique. From what little I read and understand about Clan Tremere, it's something that the clan tends to hold on to, right?
Yes, well, Queen Lizzie. She shakes her head again. She didn't like playing by the rules. I don't think she wanted them having his blood. Her previous child didn't give blood either. Until, well, Mama found out about it, and then she went and took it. He left town. Don't know where he is, but I don't care.
Have you heard or felt grandmother recently?
She left before you took out Mr. Mallet. She was feeling the beckoning. And while we have some things to delay it for a while, and you didn't hear that from me, of course. Eventually it gets to be too much, especially when you're that old. And she finally decided she was tired. Probably a good thing. She and William were close. I don't know how she would have handled it if she knew what you did to him.
What did I do to him?
I saw the head in resin, Mr. Voss. I was at Elysium. I was hungry, but I saw things.
William Mallet got everything he deserved.
Oh, I'm not contesting that. I found out he set the hunters on my mom.
We're working very diligently to resolve this situation with the hunters. I think I've narrowed it down to just a couple which are actually meddlesome. The others are more hangers-on. Fans.
Groupies?
Kinda. So I want to kind of resolve a couple of things before we get back to the port building. You're going to need a place to stay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's only reasonable to at least offer you a place to stay in the port building until you can decide more diligently what your future holds.
She looks at you, Katerina. Are you okay with that?
There's some side-eye going on over there to Marcus, but yes, it is acceptable. At least for now.
She nods. I want to ask one question, Marcus.
Just one?
Well, before I answer that particular question, did you kill Vince?
Nope.
Okay.
I think there's a big misunderstanding when it comes to Vince.
He fixed me.
Vince fixed you?
She nods. I was sick, like a lot of people. And he didn't have to help me. Not with Mama, well, wanting his head. But he did. And that's kind of a rare thing in our society. He didn't ask for anything. And I promised him I would tell him if Mama came for him. I'd give him a warning. And I never had to. But he was a good person, I think.
You know what I think?
What?
I think you should stop using the word was.
Probably.
So we'll find you a room inside. Get your stuff pulled in there and see to any additional things that you might need within reason. And then, given that I helped you I think I'd like a little help in return on something. It's a future project, but I think you're perfect for it.
Sure. But there is one kind of potential complication. I kind of have to eat Salubri now. Because I bit Monica the one time. Not my proudest moment, if I have to admit, but, well, I was kind of upset at the time. And, well, being a Tremere, I do know some things about how blood addiction works. So I think we'll leave you there for the moment on that bit of revelation. Sylvestre, you finish helping break up furniture in the house, and Esmeralda joins in very happily. Rom, you have cataloged everything, literally everything. And Jane looks at both of you and says, I think we can handle it from here. Thank you. You are both very good at your jobs. Rom, I really could use you more with paperwork and things. It would be great.
I'm happy to be used.
I'm sure you are.
Found this double wide wicker bamboo thing. I think it might have been their coffin. What do you want me to do with it? Do you want to use it as like a picnic basket or?
Well, there are some things, Sylvestre. I know you've been away for a while, but there are some things that are just in bad taste.
He just blinks.
No, I'll have it conveniently burned somewhere.
Fair enough.
Esmeralda pokes her head in. Sylvestre, there's a pigeon outside for you.
God damn it. He just sighs, like the shoulders slump. Kind of like a cat that has to go outside to deal with a small bird that won't go away, which is an oddly apt metaphor. Yeah, he goes out to check the message.
There's just a little note saying, do behave tonight. I have some business to take care of in Oakland. And then M.
And he's just like, 2 nights in a row. Fuck's sake. Can't get any fucking peace. Can't get anybody to trust you. Just kill 2 hunters that show up on your doorstep. Man, this is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. This is why I fuck off for decades at a time. This is why.
Esmeralda shrugs.
Yeah, he's literally just muttering this out loud beside her. Just like, crumples the note, eats it, and just like, that doesn't deserve a response.
Esmeralda's like, let's, you want to go hunt? And maybe talk about our plan for taking out fucking, what's his fucking face?
Yeah. He stops and he's like, Curtis? Was it Curtis? It begins with a C.
There's something else that begins with a C I'd use, but whatever. All right, let's go.
Yeah, nice one, bud.
So, you and Esmeralda lope off into the night to do some hunting, some snacking, some planning. Rom, what are you doing? You've still got a bit of a headache. You've realized you've been dominated twice in the span of two nights at this point, once by your sire and now by Chase. It's been a very weird couple of nights for you.
Yeah, I'm really hating the finding out that I'm not allowed to attack my own sire. Apparently. That is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, at this point, I think I'm getting quite hungry. So I think I need to feed.
All right. So are you going to find one of your people, or are you going out looking for a vending machine?
I'm going out. You know, all of my people are doing very important things for me and everyone and this city, if we're being quite honest. Pinnacle of San Francisco infrastructure at this point. So yeah, no, I'm gonna go out. Is Jane still around? Rom looks around for Jane to see if they've left.
Yeah, they're not there.
Okay. There's no Alex here.
Nope.
So
Alex never came originally, as far as you know.
Yeah. Oh, this sucks. All the
cool people.
Internally, all the cool people are gone. Yeah, no. I'm gonna strike out into the night. I'm gonna go look for a place to feed. I don't normally feed out in the public, so I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna stay away from all municipal beaches, and just to be safe, aquariums.
You're going out hunting, and you're staying away from the beach, which is probably a good idea. There's still tabloids about the San Francisco crawler, so probably best.
Which is honestly quite unfair. None of the pictures in the tabloids look anything like me.
With good reason. You're lucky. So, you go out hunting. Are you pulling someone out of an alley? Waiting for someone to come out of a shop?
Oh, let's see here. Rum, is rubbing their hands on their pants as they're walking down the street and just kind of thinking to themselves, how do you ethically source a human nowadays?
I mean, Katarina has a new farm with blood supply in the territory, if you don't want to go hunting.
No, I want to go hunting. I do. I'm tired of... Is it
that you want to go hunting or that you don't want to talk to Katarina?
I mean, why can't one thing be both thing? So, no, it's just, I don't want to get rusty out here. But it's just the problem is that I have this conflict with so much of my species. Should we call it species? Particular genotype, neurotype. They go after the homeless. They go after the dregs of society. But those are the people that I have set aside to help. And I just don't feel comfortable grabbing some random person and dragging them into an alley.
And it's not really how you feed.
It's not, and I'm not Jane, so I'm not gonna go be Batman and go look for somebody stealing a grandma's purse at 2 o'clock in the morning. Grandma, why are you out on the street?
So while you're wandering around trying to figure out how the fuck am I going to eat, you get a text message from your sire. You don't know how he has your new phone number because you changed phones since he left town for a while. It just says, job done?
I pick up the phone and I'm like, I know you sent me the text, but no, I'm calling him.
Hey.
You can't compel someone over the phone, right? Rom honestly doesn't know.
So you call your sire and you're in a darker part of town. Have you left the territory or are you still wandering around there?
I'm within 2 blocks of the last place I was at.
Okay, so you're still in the territory. And so you pull off to the side. It's dark. It's getting on to about 4 at this point. And you call your sire. There's no one wandering around except for what looks like a houseless person sitting slumped up against a wall further up the street. They probably can't hear you. They look passed out. And so you call your sire, and you just hear, "Oh, Rom, it's been so long."
It has literally not been so long. It has been, what, possibly hours.
You never call. You never write.
Well, yeah, well, you're a dick. So that's the long and the short of it.
You hear a chuckle and says, someone is about to have a credit line revoked very soon.
All right. Listen, I got your text. And I wanted to know if possibly there were alternative outcomes to the scenario that you proposed and requested that you would deem to also be success or possibly neutral end cases. Because Chase is gone. And that's not my fault. I know what you're thinking, and you're wrong. This was out of my hands. It's, and I cross my arms even though I'm on a phone. And I go, union business.
Oh, not the fucking vampires union nonsense, Rom. You should know better. I put you on one simple task. One simple, easy task that you should be able to do in your slumbers, Rom. And you can't even do that.
No, listen to me. Listen to me. It was not my fault. Okay? It wasn't. It just wasn't my fault. All right? You might have, talk to union leadership. I did everything that you asked to the best of my ability, and when something wasn't possible, then it didn't happen. And honestly, why are you hanging out with people like Chase?
People like Chase? No idea what you mean, Rom. There are things you're just never going to understand, child. There's more things at work here in San Francisco than you could ever possibly comprehend with that little shattered brain of yours. I'll be in touch.
You say that like you're not a Malkate, and he hangs up. I yell into the freaking phone.
And you hear a from down the street. So we'll leave you there for the moment. Katerina, you've gotten back to the Haven with Marcus and Annalise, but you have some work to do that you were interrupted in when the whole thing with Chase went down.
It's true. I need to convert Sophie back to, something more human.
Vlad is waiting for you. He had just shown up when you were called to go handle Chase and Annalise with Marcus. And he's just sitting there, and he's got a piece of bone in his hand that he's crafting into something. Looks like a little bone dog. Are we going to work?
Yes. Sorry about the sudden departure.
We have time. It's no problem. Jane said she had things to do, so it's no rush. And he stands up and he picks up a bag that smells suspiciously like death. He says, I have pieces. We do work.
Yes. Well, she has been mildly helpful, but I have more work for her to do that will require her to be more mobile than she is now.
Okay. It's a little sad. It was beautiful work. My best.
It is. And
Sire found it a little weird, but
Yes.
So Vlad goes to work, and this time Sophie passes out almost immediately. She's been through so much she can't really handle a whole lot, but as Vlad says, he's better with no scream. Anyway, there's child now.
Yeah, and I'm not feeling like vengeful anymore, really. So I'm not going to wake her up to endure anything else.
She's practically blood bonded to you at this point, and there's not a whole lot left of the original Sophie's mind, so it wouldn't give you quite the same enjoyment.
No.
But Vlad says, we'll take a couple hours and then I have to sleep, but it's easy compared to other things you have me do. Easier to fix into human than to this. And he just happily gets to work. There is a corpse and blood and flesh all over the room, but that's what tarps are for. So, downstairs, Marcus, you have this box, this small metal, almost like a strong box that you took from Fred's office that had Luther's grandfather's pocket watch in it. But you remember you heard a bit of a rattling when you opened it.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the watch, when you were carrying it home, when you left the scene of the crime, so to speak, there was still something rattling around inside.
Are crimes of pleasure truly crimes? I think Fred's wife thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, she definitely had a good time.
Right. So we'll inspect the box a little bit more. I'll take the box of files that were taken from the house most recently from that Chase and Monica were in. I'll set them by it and then go to the next box, because evidently all management is just a series of boxes.
So are you looking through the strong box first or the files of papers? Okay.
Let's be a completionist. Let's look through the strong box first, and then we'll move on to the next treasure trove.
So you realize as you look through this box, which is not very big, right, that it's got a false bottom. And for you, it's not hard to just pull out the piece that's covering it. Don't even bother trying to find a key or anything that will unlock it. And inside you find a key. It looks to you like a P.O. box key.
Okay.
It's got a number on it.
Cool.
And you also find what looks like a couple very blurry pictures of you.
Ooh.
And a couple of Katarina.
Interesting. I'll lay them out like in a line and begin to try to figure out where they were taken at. That sort of thing.
There's one of you that's very easy to identify. It's going into the union office. You assume from that camera across the street where you saw some of the footage from the night of the fire. But this was back when the union office was still standing.
Certainly.
There's one of you standing in the parking lot watching someone burn.
That is a very compelling photograph, which will clearly have to go somewhere else.
Quite.
So we'll burn the evidence. That's important to protect the masquerade in that regard.
Quite.
But the key I'll definitely put in my pocket. And I probably know in San Francisco where all the post offices are that would have a PO.
Yes.
So that is an adventure that will have to happen soon enough.
And as you put the key in your pocket, you get a text message from M, your Nosferatu contact.
Certainly.
Potential situation.
What and where?
And he sends you an address. Says, clean up on aisle 4. Don't know what happened. Jane's there. Blood. I just caught it on a security camera when I was looking. Like you get a little voice message from the Nosferatu.
Okay.
Don't know what happened here. Cameras were all fogged up for a while, and now it's looking like someone's erasing. Oh, that's interesting. Someone's erasing things.
Document whatever you can.
Yep. You're still going to have to send a cleanup crew, I think, unless Jane's taking care of it. But there's a body?
What's the body look like?
Suit, dark hair, face down, gaping wound in the back.
Skin color?
Dark olive sort of color.
Interesting. I take out, I swap chats and I text Jane, busy night, ?
Yep. That's all you get is yep.
How goes the cleanup ?
Alex, at this point, you can have left the scene with Monica, leaving Jane because she said she could take care of it.
Right.
Oh, well, Frank's sending someone if you have anyone who could clean it up faster. But, Uncle Frank said he's sending his team too, so it's a lot messier than I was expecting.
Everything okay?
I don't like bullies.
One of us? ?
Yes. Piece of shit.
I swap back to M and say, whatever you can pull from the scene time before, anything, people arriving, vehicles arriving, any sort of people that might be in the area who could have potentially witnessed it, we need to know to run it to ground. It's not just the electronic information we need. We might need to find people who may have seen it.
I'll do what I can, but someone erased a lot of stuff. The first thing I picked up when checking this camera was Jane cleaning up some blood. So I'll see what I can do. But they're good, whoever's doing that. So I'm guessing either Jane has somebody or someone else was there. But I'll do what I can. Can't guarantee anything.
It's okay. Suit, huh?
Suit. Very expensive from what I can tell. Oh, nope. That one's gone. Good thing I downloaded it.
Let me ask you one last thing.
Yep.
Any vehicles nearby?
Motorcycle.
Beyond that?
There's a couple cars parked on the street.
I described Chase's car from earlier tonight.
Oh, yeah, that one's there. Near the body.
Okay. Thanks, Em.
Thought you'd like to know.
I appreciate it. A lot. I don't get back to Jane. I do get back to Jane. I tell them that if Uncle Frank has things handled, I don't want to get in the dragon's way.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good cleanup team, being who he is. So you would assume it would be the body parts at least, and the blood would be quickly cleaned up. Whether or not there was anyone who might have heard or seen anything, that's a different matter. But based on what Jane said, you can assume she and Frank have it taken care of body-wise.
Bigger fish to fry at this moment for me.
So we'll switch back to Alex and Monica as they have left the scene, and Jane is cleaning things up, and Marcus is now finding out about Chase fucking around and finding out. So you have a crying, sobbing Monica in the back of your car,
who cannot stop repeating the phrase, "It hurts, everything hurts, it hurts, it hurts," as she's like literally clawing at herself.
Yeah, I'm going to make myself available to Monica, like for a hug, comfort, or for her to like crawl in the corner and just tell her quietly, like, that was not the plan. That was not my plan. I didn't want that to happen.
Oh my God, I can't. Everything hurts. It hurts. Everything hurts. Alex, make it stop.
I can't. That's why it wasn't my plan.
She's pendulum swinging between sobbing and genuinely crying out in agony right now, because it feels like her soul just suffered multiple compound fractures simultaneously. And like everything is shattering inside of her. That was an 80-year one-way bond. She is genuinely in pain.
Monica, you're going to take 2 stains from this.
That's just insult to injury. Okay.
If there's anything I can do.
You just fucked every chance you had of saving Vince. You know that, right?
I didn't do this. It was not my plan. Do not threaten me.
I'm not threatening you, Alex. I don't have anything to threaten you with. I'm just telling you right now, every fucking chance you had to save Vince just died on that pavement. And that's on you.
How is that on me?
Why did you bring her? Jane, what did you think was going to happen?
Tell me how many other independents in here would be willing to risk everything to save you. Tell me. Tell me. Marcus just let you leave with him, knowing that he was going to abuse you for the rest of eternity.
God, you keep using that word like you know what the fuck it means.
Oh, I don't? The manipulation, the gaslighting, him telling you everything's your fault, victim blaming, that's not what that word is used for.
She doubles over and starts wailing. Mira's hurt, but so does her entire soul.
I didn't do this. That was not my plan. I just wanted to ask you if you wanted to stay.
Well, I guess you got what you wanted, didn't you, Alex? Because now I have nowhere to go. Fuck, everything hurts.
You have everywhere to go. You think that nobody here would help you? Marcus didn't tell you to go, I'm assuming. Rom wouldn't want you to go. Annalise doesn't want you to go, if she's still alive. Oh, I forgot to ask Luther. To me, this is the safest place for you, but you can go wherever you want.
I think she goes to respond, but she can't. She's not operating from a place of logic right now, and logic isn't landing with her really well. Because everything that she was just died in front of her. So she is going to pin herself into the corner of yet another Dom's vehicle. And she's just going to start trying to ride out this potential pain. Because it hurts. And it's not even just the grief. This physically hurts.
I'm going to have Ajax drop her off at Mina's place and give Monica the key and help her inside.
Are you leaving her alone there?
Well, I'm going to have somebody watch the house to make sure she's safe. Or have Luther keep an eye on her if he doesn't mind. So, and then I will have Ajax leave his phone for her and give Ajax money to get a new phone. Because I would know from tracking her phone is still at wherever it's at now. So, and let her know that I will be available, but you can be mad at me or whoever in peace. And then I will, I will leave and get a hold of Lila and have her get a courier to deliver the package to the church.
Lila texts you back. No records found.
You've got to be shitting me.
Name's not anywhere in the database.
All right, let me make a call. And then I'll call Marcus, so whenever that happens is whenever that happens.
Okay, so Marcus, you get a phone call. You're a very busy vampire tonight.
Grand Central Station. How can I direct your call?
Hey, Marcus, I've got a weird question for you.
Hey, Alex, how's things?
Interesting. So, I know that you were in the military fighting against the Germans at a specific point in time. I'm assuming your records are under a different name.
What do you want?
This is how you're going to treat me?
No. You picked up the phone, you called me and said, I know something about you that literally no one else knows. That's how you started the conversation. So let's start there.
First of all, I wasn't aware you don't tell anybody. I mean, you talk about being the scourge all the time, so why wouldn't you talk about your military background?
I don't talk about it.
But if you must know, the reason I wanted to know is because the reason that Esther is after you is because somebody told her you're a Nazi. And that's all she cares about. If we clear up the fact that you're not a Nazi, she will leave.
I'm pretty far from being a Nazi.
I know that. And I tried to pull your military records to show what side of the fight you were on, but your name isn't there. Now, if you don't want to give me the name you used, that's fine. But I'm telling you, if we clear it up, she leaves, the hunters leave, we burn the church, everything's fine.
So, I'll just put it like this. The Clan Bruja at the time didn't do things with paperwork. I can't exactly show up to PT at Camp Pendleton at 6 a.m. for exercise.
Well, I guess it didn't occur to me that you were a vampire then. Okay. Well, then the information I have is that you prove you're not a Nazi, she leaves. That's all she goes for. Mallet told her that she has some bad baggage, so she goes around and she kills all these vampires that are bad people still. That's all she cares about. She's not like a hunter just to hunt. Like, I mean, if you want to track her down and have that fight, that's on you. But I'm just telling you, the easy way out is to do this. You burn the church just because they're a bunch of followers, and it's done. And then we can actually focus on getting the city fucking back to something.
Okay. I can probably take care of it in one way or the other, certainly. But I can't prove by military record because there isn't one.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I didn't enjoy several years between Poland and Germany bashing Nazi skulls together.
Well, I know this about you. That's why I tried to find military records to clear it up so that I wouldn't have to involve anybody and everything would just go away.
Okay, which totally makes sense. One question. Why didn't you just come ask me?
Because you're busy. And you rarely have time for anyone. And I don't know the last time you came to speak with me.
We did it at a park bench. I remember the way the air smelled. I remember the number of squirrels near Coit Park. The vans passing by. I remember every single moment of the last time we spoke.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm not the only one that's been busy either. Communication works both ways. Maybe we both suck at it when it comes to one another.
Probably.
Okay. So I'll work to resolve this issue with the hunter. I don't mind that they hunt Nazi vampires. We could use about 100% less of them as far as I'm considering. But they haven't exactly done a whole lot of real nice things since they've been here.
I don't think it's her directly. I think it's these fanatical followers. Well, I mean, she doesn't really care about collateral damage, so there's that.
Yeah, she carries around a fucking sword.
Well, that's the easiest way to behead a vampire, I would think. But either way. Also, there's a rumor that that sword is what has kept her young all these years and gives her her power, so...
That's an interesting rumor. I have Annalise here.
Monica's at Vince's place.
Where's Chase?
Ask Jane.
You don't know where Chase is?
I know where Chase is, but that's not my business. That's Jane's business.
Okay. I'll ask Jane.
What did he do to get you so mad?
What did he do to get me so mad at him?
Yeah, Chase, yeah.
I think I was simply responding to a member of Kindred Society here who called me in a flat panic and begged me to help her. Begged me. And so I did the right thing. I came running to help her. And when Chase was in a war of eyebrows with a meter-tall girl, I did the smart thing. I told him that if he didn't leave San Francisco, I was going to pump him full of bullets and make him leave.
Fair. I just don't know what happened. Luther could only see through the window.
It was over pretty quick. I brought the cavalry, of course, but I didn't want him dead. She begged me not to kill him. And so I didn't.
I don't want him dead either. Didn't.
Right, didn't being the operative term there, because he's already dead.
Yeah, that's on Jane. I told you to talk to Jane.
I already did. I just wanted to find out whether or not you were going to tell me the truth or practice another careful, subtle art of your mastery of bullshitting.
Look, I didn't do it. That was not my plan.
I'm not blaming you, Alex.
Oh, you're not? Because
No.
it sure fucking sounds like it. I lie to you all the time. Fuck this. I'm hanging up the phone. I told him the information he needs to do. He can fucking deal with it.
And that is where we will draw this episode to a close, along with this very, very drama-filled night. Thank you all for listening. Hope to see you next time. Thank you, and good night.